to show you how to save some squash seeds tonight. It's a long process, right? You gotta wait for the squash to get ready to harvest, but make sure to get it right in the beginning so your seeds are pure. Squash are in the Cucurbita genus, and there's 3 or 4 different species. What I'm going to show you are C. maxima. It's a North Georgia sugar roaster. It's in the same family as the Hubbards, and some other bigger squash. And I'm not growing any other maximas here, so I don't really need to worry too much about it, but it's better to be safe than sorry, and it's easy enough to do. I might as well do it this way. Alright, you may recall the other day I told you that I was saving some seeds from this variety already, and I am. Those are some earlier fruits, and the reason I'm going to save seeds now is because these fruits are going to be later in the season. So next year when I replant, I'll be planting genetic material that produced late and it produced early. And I won't get stuck with something that maybe just grew early and then the vine ended up dying out. And so it's better for genetic diversity to save seeds from multiple plants, multiple fruits, and that's what we're going to do. So anyway, here is our female plant, our female flower, not plant, flower. And you can see it's got the fruit right there. When this pollinates, this is going to become that guy right there. Okay, that's your female. Now our male flowers aren't going to have anything right there. See, it's just a stem and the flower. Now, the trick is to find the ones that are going to open up tomorrow morning. And you can see this guy's going to open tomorrow morning. He's about ready to open. He's got orange on the end. You can see a little bit of the green veins sort of on the back of the petals of the flower. So he's going to open. Same with this one. See that coloration? That's going to be ready to pop tomorrow morning. So that guy over there, right there, okay, he's definitely not ready. Okay, give him a couple days and he might open up. But you see the difference between this one and that one, right? The guy in the forefront is ready to open tomorrow morning. The one in the back is ready to open in a couple days. So next thing we need to do is get out our masking tape, and we're going to tape up the flowers that are going to open tomorrow. Alright, there's the female flower that I taped up. There's the masking tape. I just took a little piece and put it over the tip of the flower and folded it over on itself. That way tomorrow morning when the flower goes to open, the tape will keep it shut. You see the same. I did that on the male flower there, and I did that on a few male flowers. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, there's a couple more, and then I have another female flower way over here that we'll be doing as well. And again, you can see that sort of, it's ready to open up tomorrow morning. Alright, so like I said earlier, the reason I'm doing multiple female flowers and multiple male flowers is that I want to keep the genetic diversity. If I were to save just one male flower and one female flower, I'm not going to be saving many different genetics there. If I have multiple male flowers and one female flower, my genetics are going to be a little bit mixed up. And same, even more so, if I have 2 female flowers, I'm saving 2 different vegetables, 2 different fruits, and I'll have a bunch of different genetic material there. And hopefully that'll be good. Alright, good morning. It's about 7:15. I'm out here in the garden. I'm going to get this pollination thing going. The pollen stays viable for up to a day, possibly, but it's usually done by about midday. And once the sun comes up, the flowers are starting to open, and the pollen is starting to, the dehiscence kind of comes out on top of the anther, and you can even see some of it a little bit on your bigger things like the squash. You'll probably be able to see some. But you want to get out early and get it while it's viable. So if we look here, we can see this is our male flower, one of them. You see it kind of almost wants to pop open, you can kind of tell. Anyway, I'm going to pluck it right off. a little tricky with one hand. Alright, so I'm going to pluck it off. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get all my other male flowers, and I'll be back in a second. Next thing we're going to do, we have our female flower. You can see her in there. It's ready to pop open. So when I take that tape off, it will pop open. So I have my male flower here, and I'll show you. I take this tape and kind of rip it off here. You see the flower wants to open. The flower's going to open. Now, carefully, can you see in there? Okay, you see that? The anther in the middle there? See, it's kind of see the pollen a little bit. So I'm going to strip this flower down, take the whole petal off it, cut it right in there, and so I have just the anther sticking out with a little bit of pollen. Alright, you can see a little bit on there. Kind of bumpy, chunky stuff. Now I'm going to go do the same thing to the female flower, but I'm only going to rip the tip off because I want some of those petals to kind of seal the flower back up. Now the female, you can see it looks different, right? It's all the pistil in there. And that's where we want to get the pollen on that brainy looking thing. So I'm going to use this guy like a paintbrush. I'm going to get it in there. I'll rub it all around on that thing. You can't really see, but that is what I'm doing. Alright, so you can see in there a little bit. I don't know if you can tell. I got two different male flowers. I got pollinated that pistil there. So now the trick is to sort of shut this flower up. You can get like a muslin bag or something and just sort of, wrap it here and have it around, make sure the other bugs don't get in there. I usually just end up retaping it shut and using the male petals to help me with that. So I'm going to try to tape it up and show you what it looks like. Alright, there it is. You can see I've got some tape in here. I taped it shut, and then I went back over the top with the male flower petals and taped that on again. I'm really not gonna have anything get in there. I may try to bag it and take a video of that, but there you go. Now it's just a waiting game. Now we wait a couple days and make sure this fruit takes. If this guy turns yellow and falls off, well, we know it didn't work. Alright, so this is flower number 2. I pollinated it, and I wrapped it in some screen that I had laying around. I creased the screen so it's folded over 2 or 3 times on itself on the edge there, so nothing's getting in. And then I kind of taped it shut down at the bottom there, and we'll see what happens. Alright, so day 3, we're back out here, checking to make sure that the pollination took, none of the fruit aborted, and see what we got. Alright, there we go. That's one. It definitely took. It's big. It's starting to swell, and it's we'll have some seeds in there. And you see, I marked it with the pink zip tie. Let me know which ones I actually pollinated. Okay, so you've hand pollinated your stuff, and now what? Now you wait. Now you just wait. Squash, you gotta wait until it gets mature, and by getting mature, it needs to be the skin needs to be tough. You can't put your fingernail through it, through the skin. It's too young, it's too immature. And a lot of the time I'll wait for the stem where it's connected to the vine starts to kind of turn brown in spots. In the north, when winter comes, that's when they are ready to be pulled. they don't survive through the frost, and when the frost comes it knocks everything back, and that's when you pick them down here. You got to kind of figure it a little bit better with your fingernail and by looking at it. So here we have the North Georgia Sugar Roaster on the top, and then down below, this guy, that's a zucchini that I hand pollinated. We grow the Cocazella bush zucchini, and you can see, you know, usually you harvest them when they're like 6-8 inches long, and maybe, you know, an inch or two wide. But I mean, this guy it's massive, right? And he's nice and hard. I can't really scratch that skin. You know, I can scratch it, but I can't put it in. And those seeds inside will be nice and ripe. When they get that big, you know, they're no longer edible, but I really don't care. I'm sick of zucchini by week 2. And with this guy, he's turned orange. He's nice and tough. This guy's still immature. He's still kind of green. The orange hasn't quite oranged up, and I scratch right through that with my finger. And that's how you hand pollinate a squash. Lets you know that your seed is going to be pure next year. There's not going to be any doubts about that. So if you give your seeds to your friends, or you sell your seeds, or whatever you want to do with it, you're going to know that next year something that you're growing isn't going to be some crazy hybrid. You get some bush, you got some vines, you got crazy looking fruit that doesn't actually taste good. You'll know that you're growing exactly what you grew last year. You can go ahead and find us on our website, libertymindedagrarian.com. Most of the stuff we have is on Steemit, though there are some other posts that are not on Steemit. You can follow us on Steemit, steemit.com/@bpangy, and then on Twitter @LMApod. Get out there, sow those seeds of liberty, and we can all reap sheaves of freedom together.